3 of the best Town Hall 12 attacks that you can use right now, and let's explain how to use all of them. What's going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt. Let's start number 3, the Queen Charge Miners. Now, there's a lot to cover in this specific attack. First, if the Town Hall is centralized, you can let the miners get right the way into it and take it down with no problem. If the Town Hall is on the outside, however, like on the outside of the base, you can just use the Barbarian King and Ice Golem to take advantage of it. Otherwise, you will want to try to get your miners to go in towards it, or you can get rid of it with a Queen Charge. Now, the other thing is the enemy CC. If it's lureable like this, you can bring the use of a couple smaller units to lure it out, or you can let the miners lure it if it's indeed super minions. All you need to do is drop a poison and a freeze spell. Along with this, if it is in the center of the base and the queen was not able to get deep enough to lure it out, you could also use Hog Riders to lure that out. Now, with the use of the Queen Charge, and on this base as an example, since the CC is not protecting any worthy value, you can actually go in towards something like the Eagle Artillery. Unfortunately, if your queen walks in the wrong direction, you can fix this up by using the Siege Barrack on one side with the miners going through. Overall, you want to try to think about those things. Now, you do want to make sure that you're using some funneling troops and also bring some balloons so you can protect both baby dragons and your healers from Seeking Air Mines. You don't want the Seeking Air Mines to touch your healers, so make sure that you're able to do that. Along with this, you do want to make sure that you could bring some Hog Riders in case that there is a multi-inferno hitting your healers along with your queen. That way you can easily take care of it with no problem. Now, normally what I would recommend is using super wall breakers, but you can use regular wall breakers to get in by using 1 test wall breaker and then 4 other wall breakers to open up the wall. Don't spam them in, or else that's going to be a big problem. So there is another tip that I want to give you guys to prevent fails. Those are common mistakes that you guys may make and thus could actually force you guys to really fix up your attack on the fly, and sometimes you guys may panic. So don't panic with these attacks. Make sure that you're able to create the funnel, and you want to be able to save your attack by allowing them to go in towards the core. Like I've mentioned before, is if you guys want to also see something such as mistakes that you make in attacks and how to correct them, let me know in the comments below. As you can see from here, allowing the miners to go in and still somewhat splitting is completely fine. As long as it's a good group, you can get to the Town Hall with no problem. You can use the Warren ability because you will want to do that to protect them as you continue to move in. Now, here's where you're dealing with the enemy CC, but it's not that big of a threat. And when you're going into something such as single and multi-infernos, you can really use the first heal spell to get through the multi-inferno. Making sure that you're protecting a big group of miners is that way you're able to continuously move through the base without having to really worry all too much. Of course, making sure that you're using those heal spells over things like the Eagle Artillery, a bunch of expos, and other structures is exactly what you want, so you have the miners to get everything done on cleanup. But it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to understand exactly what you're doing and how you guys can do it when you are using the Queen Charge Miners, and how you can effectively use it for easy triples other than just, of course, using the Queen Charge Hybrid. In the number 2 spot, we have the Blizzard Lalo, one of the best Lalo attacks in the game. Now, the couple things that you do want to look for in an attack like this is going to be the enemy CC, the enemy queen, and if there is a core town hall, like in this case, you want to get rid of the town hall. Those are going to be 3 different buildings that you do want to prioritize. Now, in order to use this, you do want to take a look at how much value that you could possibly get with the Blizzard. If you really want to use this attack against an island base, getting rid of the town hall and making the pathing into a predictable circle is exactly what you want to do. So bringing in the use of a Lava Hound to tank on one of the air defenses, while the use of the Blimp goes all the way in towards the town hall, is exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to lure out the enemy CC, whether it be E-Drags or Super Minions, and that way you're also able to deal with them with the use of your heroes and a poison spell. That way it makes it far easier for the rest of your attack to push through. The main thing that you just want to be able to do is make sure that you do not get time fails, and we will explain that along with the Lalo portion a little bit later. So the main thing is very simple. You want to start by using the Lava Hound and then the use of that Battle Blimp. You want to then go ahead and use the invisibility spell first. Make sure you're not using it over the Town Hall, so that way you can easily get rid of it. Then also set your eyes on other structures, mainly things like the air defenses, expos, the enemy queen, archer towers, etc. The list goes on, but you want to try and get rid of as many structures as possible, and also making it a little bit easier when you start with your heroes. Normally, I would recommend the use of the Yetis. It provides a lot of support for your heroes, and you could also get rid of stuff from an island from the outside of the base. So you just want to make it a lot easier for you. So as you can notice from here, going ahead and using a poison to deal with the enemy CC, like in this case, you can easily get through that, especially if it's an Electro Dragon. So E-Drag CCs are not the hardest thing in the world to deal with. As you're using your heroes though, you can use a couple balloons to snipe off structures while your heroes are tanking to get through it. The main goal here should be to just extend what you already got with the blizzard. So since this area of the base was mostly cut off with the blizzard, you can use the heroes to finish that off and get the way into the base. Now that you've created a little bit of pathing, you can then start your Lalo portion. Now the main thing to keep in mind with Lalo is you want to look at it like this. Usually you want to mainly try and get your balloons to go all the way around the base. So think of it as a sort of C shape as you start to work your way through. Along with this, to make it a little bit easier, you want to be able to look at this first air defense as your point A and this one as your point B as you work yourself along the base. So if we go to half speed, you guys can see what's going on. Using a couple balloons on your first Lalo, and then you're going to be using a couple more balloons and a Lava Hound to start moving through to group up together to start moving in towards the next air defense. So you want to try and go in by section and try to make your Lalo stronger by going together. Since there are no defenses on the outside, it makes it a lot easier. You're going to use your haste spells to get through to things like the Inferno Towers and to also get to air defenses. But you also want to use your Warden ability, if it's not on the Town Hall, to use it against the Eagle shots. That way you're able to protect your balloons and you're able to go from defense to defense here to make it so much easier for the Lalo portion. I would also recommend the use of free spells against defenses like air defenses or multi-infernos to make it a lot easier for you to get through. Another tip of advice to prevent time fails is make sure that you go ahead and use your minions right after. And if you're using the blizzard, even if you activate the Town Hall but you don't get rid of it, you can always go ahead and use the blizzard, or you can always use a Lalo to easily take care of that. Overall, you just want to be able to make sure that you're still easily working your way through, and there's a lot of different things that could possibly go wrong, but this is still a very strong attack that is very consistent. In the number 1 spot, we have none other than the Zap, which is by far one of the strongest attacks in the game. Now, the best part about this attack is you can use it on a lot of different common bases. Even this one can be used against a common base. Now, one of the best parts about this attack is the base identification is very simple. All you want to do is use your lightning spells and earthquake to get rid of 2 multi-infernos. Then you want to mainly try to focus in on these 3 buildings that are in a line. The Eagle Artillery, the 3rd Inferno Tower, and the Town Hall. Since those 3 are going to be a big factor to deal with, if that 3rd Inferno is set to multi, you want to prioritize it. If you don't get rid of it, it could really smack you down hard. So you do want to be very careful about those things. Along with this, you can also bring the use of Super Wizards. Super Wizards are able to create the funnel, and also they can be used to be sent in with the witches going into the core to soften buildings up and to make it easier for your witches and your heroes to move through. Those are just a couple things that you can easily do to provide a lot of support. Another thing is, while you're using the lightning spells, using them versus the multi-infernos is very much applicable. You can, as you can see here, using the lightning spells and earthquake to make it just a tad bit safer for your witches to move through is exactly what you want to do. There's really nothing more I can say in terms of dealing with multi-infernos. Once you get rid of the multis, pretty much you have free reign with the rest of your lightning. However, if you are going to be using something like this versus single infernos, then you can still use the lightning spells versus the single infernos for pathing purposes only, to make it a little bit easier to control your witches and possibly super wizards if you're bringing them. That is. So overall, you want to then be able to start creating the funnel by either using super wizards or by using the witches on either side with the use of a couple super giants. So you can use the ice golems to go in with the rest of the witches to start going into the base and overwhelming it. Now, since there is only one single inferno left, the rest of the base, other than the eagle and the bomb towers along with the wizard towers, are the only other splash buildings. So in order to use this properly, you want to be able to make sure that your heroes are going into the base. You want to also make sure that you're using the Warden ability to protect the log launcher from taking too much damage. Unfortunately, in this case, he does lose a lot of those witches and the queen and the warden to the outside. So you do want to be very careful about a lot of different things, but in case your queen doesn't go in, you don't need to worry about something like a Lava Hound CC. You're able to allow the Ice Golem and P.E.K.K.A.s to get over to the Town Hall and possibly even the King, so that way you're able to use the free spells to prevent the King from getting taken down too quickly. That way it's far easier for you to overrun the rest of the base with the use of the skeletons and also the witches. It's making it far easier for you to make sure that you are able to open up the base with the log launcher and start moving your way through. I would not recommend the wall wrecker due to the fact that you will need your heroes. The log launcher doesn't need it, and you can easily just open up the base for the rest of your attack. You always want to try and think about small different things that are really going to help your attack a lot. And Zap Witches is one of the attacks that you can use, and all of these attacks can be used with lower level heroes. I'm not a max TH12, but I can use all of these with the hero levels I have. So it is safe to say that if you have lower level heroes, you can still use this attack strategy effectively no matter what. If you guys want to check out more of my list formatted content, make sure you guys check out all these videos around here, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you use code CORRUPT, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.